Brace yourself. It's that time again. Welcome to Unfiltered. Another week's gone by. Oh man, let me tell you, this afternoon, setting up, Mike and I ran into a bunch of problems. You may notice things look a little different. We're missing all our floor lights. All the color that colored the bottom of our set are at the Moose Lodge. The lighting guy for tomorrow night's Keen Karaoke Idol decided that he wanted to set up today, so he took all the stuff that we usually use. So, but the show looks a little different. It's just for this week. Next week we'll be back to normal, our full light show, as you might call it. But one good thing, it was less to set up, less to tear down tonight. And we still had time for the majority of the crew. Greg doesn't get out early enough to make it here that early, but Jane and Mike and Bruce and Andrea and I all went to Gino's this afternoon and had a great dinner. Oh man, I think we should start making that a every week thing, going out to dinner before the show.
It was good.
It was fantastic.
And then you have to say one thing about Donna, the bartender there. She feels the love in the room. I have never seen a bartender get so many kisses as the patrons leave on the cheek, and she goes up and kisses them.
Oh my gosh, she's just wonderful. And of course, we went to school with Donna,
yeah.
So you know she is a hot ticket. She is, and well equipped to handle herself in any bar room in the world.
Yeah, she was great.
I'd put her up against a platoon of Marines, man.
She should be home laying down right now in the quiet of her bedroom watching us.
She should be. Yeah, she should be.
So hi, Donna.
Yeah, hi, Donna. She's probably there. Her old man Carl gets upset, though, because Donna watches me all the time, pays no attention to him. But sorry, Carl. And this weekend, I got to tell you, Saturday was one of the best days I have ever had in my life.
Good.
We went with Mike. Let's see, who went with us? Bruce was there, and Andrea. Jane. Greg and Nick.
Yeah.
Nick Fletcher, who works here at Cheshire TV.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Nick, so much.
Lee made an appearance.
And Lee made an appearance. Is that all the crew we had? Yeah, that was all the crew we had.
Yeah.
And all volunteers went up to Highland Lake Marina and filmed a local group called the Poor Horny Rednecks, or PHR. And Mike directed it, Mike produced it, and we've got a clip, if we can pull that up, Andrea.
Take a breath of fresh air. Take a breath of fresh air. Take a breath of that sweet, sweet fresh air. And smile. Take a breath of fresh air. Take a breath of fresh air. Take a breath of that sweet, sweet fresh air. And smile. Check out.
Yeah, so check out the rest of the show on Sunday night at 10 p.m. right here on Cheshire TV, right after the Keen Karaoke Idol elimination round 3, I believe it is, this week. So yeah, what a great time we had. I don't know, with the little technical difficulty in there, that little "Are you all right?" is supposed to be tacked on the end of the show during our credits. But I don't know.
Just gives them a
That
taste.
computer does weird things, Andrew. It's a Mac. That's probably why. It's just like in its infancy. It's definitely, there is a spook in this place. But yeah, it's great music. We did, and I gotta say, for the first time out, that
First multi-camera shoot without Lee.
yep, the first camera we set up all by ourselves and did the whole thing with no help. Well, we had Nick's technical knowledge.
Right.
But Lee showed up,
And
sat
back.
down for a few minutes and had something to eat and then left. And he loved it. But yeah, Sunday night at 10 o'clock after Karaoke Idol. PHR at the Highland Lake Marina. It's probably 90 minutes long anyway, I'd say. An hour and a half. Some good footage.
Some good music.
All right, I just lost my card. That's all right. That just tells me what I'm doing next. But we're into the news now. I guess the big news in Keene this week is that the roundabout at 101 and Winchester Street is open. And, you know, that, I knew that one would work. And it's smooth going through there, too. It's nice. Especially, Mike and I have been around the country, and I've seen traffic circles, roundabouts, and if you know how to drive in them, it's easy. You just whip right through. It's the people that aren't sure what lane they should be in, haven't really thought it out before they've driven in. That's what slows things up. But yeah, I think that one's going to work. And personally, I still don't think the one on Main Street and Marlborough Street is going to work. We'll have lights there within 6 months of the opening of that roundabout.
How many college students can we kill?
And they put the little, I guess they're going to do underground lights on Winchester Street at the crosswalks, so when the kids step in the road, the light comes on so you can see them better, which is a great idea because
I wonder what that's costing us in taxes.
a ton, at least. All right, other news. This one was from Rome. I found really kind of scary. Italian police say Moroccans ran a terror school. And apparently they arrested 3 Moroccans, an imam and 2 aides, accusing them of belonging to a militant cell and using a mosque in central Italy as a terrorist training camp. So, oh yeah, and now you bomb a mosque, and, you know, what do you hear? Oh, it was a mosque, it was a religious place. It's like bombing a church. I mean, you can't, in war, religion has no place. It's, you know,
Separation.
it's combatants.
Yep.
And whether it's a church, whether it's 10-year-old kids. And back in the 70s, I remember reading stories of some of the guerrilla wars that were going on, like Rhodesia and places like that. And there were 9, 10, 11-year-old kids carrying AK-47s and killing people. I mean, a war is a war. The object of a war is to wipe out your enemy. And if there are collateral damages, there are collateral damages. I mean, you know, if you have to wipe out an entire country, I say wipe out the entire country. And then other countries won't start in. All right, anyway. But that was, I got sidetracked on the whole war thing, sorry. But yeah, apparently they held courses on hand-to-hand combat, propaganda films, stuff on the internet, how to prepare poisons and explosives, how to pilot a Boeing 747. I mean, all this information. And the officers seized barrels of chemical substances, including acids, nitrates, and cyanide that were found in the mosque's cellar. I mean, so well, it's a religious ceremony, right? Boom. Oh, there was another one on there. Who cares? This one was amazing. Thanks, buddy. Of all the dogs in the world that I hate the most, the Chihuahua has got to rank right up there. Little ankle biting, yappy friggin' dogs. You know?
Big eyes.
Masonville, Colorado. Zoe is a Chihuahua. And when a rattlesnake lunged at its owner's one-year-old grandson, the dog threw himself in the way
Ooh.
and took the bite instead of the baby. 5-pound Zoe jumped in the way and took the bites. She got in between the baby and the snake, and that's when I heard her yipe, the boy's grandfather said. And the dog required treatment, and for a time it appeared that it might not survive, but it got better, and now she just prances around. And the grandmother said these little bitty dogs, they just don't really get credit. So yeah, apparently,
Changes my outlook
you know,
on him a little bit.
and it's like any dog. Any dog will, it's some instinct or something that they're protective, and especially of babies. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was Regis and Kelly or something, one of their dog weeks or something, you know. But they were talking about the protective aspect. And an elderly person or a child, usually, a dog will go and sit right next to. The person, a dog will stay closest to the person in the room that it feels needs the most protection. And that's really cool, you know? So this one gave me kind of a laugh because it's from Memphis, Tennessee, and it's a story about a lawn care company that's added a new twist to get business. And they're called Tiger Time Lawn Care, and what they've done is they've taken girls in bikinis and they mow the lawns. And as a homeowner, I would just sit back in my lawn chair with a beer and enjoy the show.
Now, what about men in a bathing suit?
It says, the owner says there hasn't been any interest in a male version of the bikini lawn cut. But now that you brought it up, maybe, my shirt keeps falling down with the mic. It's the mic cord going inside my shirt. And I don't know why it's hanging up. I didn't tape properly is what it was. But anyway, yeah, it's a 3-month-old company, and they're looking for a way to expand its service through the end of the summer. And it says the yards definitely get more attention when there's a bikini on the lawn. It says the price is a little bit more expensive. But one of the girls, an employee, Blair Beckman, who is 21, she says, you get the attention, but you also get a tan, which I like. So yeah, and it's probably a great living. All right, what's another one? A couple other funny ones I had here. This one from Marseille, France. A woman has been arrested on suspicion of kissing a painting by American artist Cy Twombly and smudging the bone white canvas with her lipstick. Apparently it was at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Avignon. And apparently they said she kissed the work of art, and she's going to be tried for damage to a work of art. So don't kiss any paintings. Who knows where they've been anyway? This one from Hart Township, Michigan. It's kind of funny. The headline is Man Drives Flaming Hay Wagon Through Countryside. And apparently this guy had trouble with his brakes on his hay-filled wagon being towed by a truck. And it caught the wagon on fire. And when he realized it, he panicked and just started driving looking for a hose to put the fire out with. And he was looking for a house with a hose. And he traveled about 5 miles through the countryside
Nobody had a hose.
before he finally stopped. Apparently not. There's no water in Hart Township, apparently. All right. Sorry, Mike. I'll save that one for later. And, that camera? All right. Well, that's the news. I've got a little bit left for later in my stuff segment. But we'll go to crew call.
Thanks.
See, I knew you weren't ready, Mike. That was why I jumped on it. On camera one, we got Greg. As soon as Mike can get him caught up. And I'll fix my shirt again.
Still up.
Oh,
Greg
sorry.
is still up.
Not anymore. That's Greg on camera one.
Hi, Greg.
Sitting next to Mike is
Greg.
sitting next to Greg is Jane. She was sitting next to Mike at dinner, sorry. And that's Mike.
That's Mike.
And that's me. And that's Jane.
That's Jane.
There you go.
That's Jane. Hi, Jane.
Thanks, Bruce. You're all right. On camera 3, we got Mike, but you're already seeing him, so we might as well get a shot into the booth.
We're all screwed.
What is going on tonight, buddy?
This is like, these people have been not done a show for a week or something, you know?
I don't know what's going on. We came into half the lights we need, and
I know.
it's
It's-
just been
it's a-
downhill since.
It's a
but
complete mess, and we're just gonna roll with it.
we're rolling with it tonight, but
It's
Because
a cluster.
if I do something, I'm gonna do it 100%. So, all right, we got a booth shot, I think. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
We
And
won't
I'll tell
show-
you what, that is not called a mess, it's called a cluster, and I won't tell you what the rest of that cluster is.
We won't show Bruce, just because tonight.
This is a different color than usual.
But how's things in NASCAR? We didn't have a race this past weekend.
No, we didn't have a race, and I was kind of bumming, but what we did have was we had a bush race, and that really wasn't too awful bad. There were a lot of crashes because apparently there was a lot of rookies in that darn bush race, and there were not as many of the what do you call it, bushwhackers as they usually have. But Reed Sorensen took the race in the number 41, and then David Ruderman, Scott Wimmer. Okay, well they got me doing all kinds of things at the same time, and I only have 2 hands. But anyways, so that's it on the bush race. What the heck? The big news seems to be that Dale Earnhardt Inc., DEI, merged with Ginn Racing. Now, this is kind of a real funky thing because they're doing exactly what I don't agree with. They were able to, through the merger, able to get the points from Sterling Marlin's number 14, and they are being given to the number 15 of Paul Menard. Now, Joe Nemechek is going to be eliminated completely. Sterling Marlin is not going to be driving. Martin Truex Jr. and Earnhardt Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr. are going to stay the same. Boy, I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm stumbling all over my tongue. But anyways, Mark Martin and Almirola are going to split the rest of the year in the 01 car, and they'll be joining DEI as drivers. So they're going to be driving under the DEI flag. But it's really a big mess. I've never seen anything like it. Now, Regan Smith was supposed to start in the number 14 this week, but obviously because of all this, Regan Smith is not going to be starting in the number 14, but he's going to be driving in the truck thing. So personally, my own opinion is he kind of is the one that got screwed the most. But he's going to be at O'Reilly Raceway for the truck series. And but as far as Smith, Martin, and Almirola, their rest of their schedules for the rest of the year are not even, they're going to determine those later. So there's, like I said, there's a big shakeup that went on. But then another little piece of news, and like I said, I don't have much because we didn't have a race. But the other little piece of news is Kyle Petty will start his 800th race at Indianapolis this week. And just a little bit of information. There are only 5 other drivers that have made the 800 or more starts in the Cup Series. One of them being Darrell Waltrip with 809, Dave Marcus with 883, King Richard Petty with 1,185. That is a lot. That man was phenomenal. Terry Labonte and Ricky Rudd, yeah, boy. I only knew Ricky when he was a little boy. But anyways, they are in that with Terry had 848 starts and Ricky with 875. So these guys, there's not really all that many in the series, that in the 800. Now, for all of those that have been watching the weather, and we've all been suffering through it, I did check the Indianapolis area for what the weather was going to be like. Tomorrow they're going to be having thunderstorms, so I don't know how that's going to play out for any practices and all. But on Saturday, they're only supposed to be partly cloudy, Sunday partly cloudy, and yet they're not talking about any rain in the forecast. So I think for the Brickyard, they're going to be all set for that. I don't think we're going to have a problem at all. And of course, now that I haven't been able to see my tongue around my eye teeth and I've made a real mess of this, I hope y'all figured it out. But anyways, that's about it.
Thank you, Andrea. It was pretty good for what you had to work with this week. I mean,
Wasn't a whole lot.
There wasn't much.
Great with your arms, though.
All right, we're going to slide into the 70s now. And this one from Wednesday, July 27th, was kind of scary because it kind of brings back the feeling of what's ahead for us. Says after a cool, breezy day Tuesday when the highest temperature of the day was only 72 at Otterbrook Dam and 71 at Surrey, things cooled off even more overnight because on Wednesday morning, Otterbrook's thermometer plunged to 39 degrees. And Surrey had a more moderate 41. So after sunrise, by 8 o'clock, temperatures were approaching 50. But they were having daytime temperatures in the 80s and nighttime temperatures in like the low 40s. And that's, it's coming. And as a matter of fact, the days are now starting to get shorter. Sorry.
Stop it.
July 21st was the day.
Oh,
So,
I need the light.
oh, I know, me too. Here's from 1977 from Lomita, California, fake fainting scares bandit. Apparently this lady, Helen Blair, worked at the California First Bank, and one day a robber came up and handed her a note asking for all the money, and she slapped herself on the forehead and said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna faint," and the robber freaked out and ran away. She didn't fall down or nothing. She wasn't really gonna faint, she said later, and she didn't bother falling down because she didn't want to get her dress dirty. But yeah, apparently she just wailed, "I'm gonna faint," and the robber like panicked and took off. So yeah, anytime that you're in a situation like that, start causing a scene, because the last thing a robber wants is a scene. Now you know, Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb. It was developed as early as 1860 by Sir Joseph William Swan. Now you know. Here's one from Chicago. I changed cameras right in the middle, Bruce. You didn't even see that, did you? I figured I'd just do it myself. Okay. What was that for?
Mark.
Who's Mark? I don't know any Mark. All right. This was from Chicago, 1977. Mark. Apparently this gunman was robbing a cleaning company, a cleaners, Pekin Cleaners. And he was, yeah, Pekin. And apparently he pulled out his gun.
Peking.
No, there's no G. Apparently this was a cleaners that wasn't owned by Oriental people. Sorry. Pekin. And apparently this would-be robber went in and pulled out his gun to show the people that he meant business and shot his own finger off.
You can show somebody you're real dangerous when you start taking off your own limbs.
Yeah. And apparently he regained his composure enough to flee with a television set and $5. However, he left the finger behind. And it says the cops were taking fingerprints. I mean, you don't even have the dust for him at that point. See, and that was 1977, and I can't believe CSI is just making it big on TV these days. Because I bet that would be a good story for them. What are the clues? Well, we've got the guy's finger.
Last week, there was an episode where a guy blew himself up before they got the information they needed, and they didn't know who the guy was, but she found his thumb.
Nice, yeah.
So they figured out who he was by his thumb.
You know, and that reminds me, what the hell was I talking about last week? I went off on a tear about something, and I got home and I turned on Glenn Beck, and he was on the tear too. On the same thing I had talked about, which kind of upset me. Because I know he probably watched my show somehow and stole it from me. Speaking of more stealing stuff. All right, I can do that, Bruce. From Madison, Wisconsin in 1977. This lady, Nancy Nelson, was a legal secretary, and she filed a suit seeking $15,000 in damages from a man named Jeffrey Weber, who she says broke into her apartment and stole a kiss. Yes, what a horrible man, huh?
Chocolate or otherwise.
No, it was the otherwise. She said she awoke on the night of June 18th, 1977, to find this man, a Madison, Wisconsin construction worker, in her bed trying to kiss her. She said she got out of bed and told the guy to get out of the apartment, and he refused to leave without a kiss. And eventually he just grabbed her and kissed her and left. She's seeking $15,000 damage. That's an expensive kiss. It didn't say whether the guy was like prosecuted criminally or not, you know, but apparently they could get him for breaking in anyway, because if he broke in. And here's a real problem. This is my last story from 77. From Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. God, they were having horrible problems in 77 back then. Seems that they had torn up, they were finding stacks of torn $100 bills in their toilet pipes.
Don't sound like a problem to me.
Me neither.
They were neither counterfeit or traceable to any local robbery, according to federal and local officials. And they started an investigation into it after a plumber called to unclog a toilet at a service station found more than $3,000 in torn up $100 bills stuffed in the toilet pipes. And it says a few days later that a cleaning woman had found more torn up $100 bills in the pipes of a restaurant toilet. And so far, about $4,400 in bills had been recovered. And bank officials said that as long as they contain complete serial numbers, the bank will honor them. So, lucky plumber and lucky cleaning woman, apparently. Oh, here's a little short one. 1977, the leading cause of death among people 5 to 24 years old is accidents. That's what it said. All right, now we have Mike Blastos. I found a really good one. And it actually surprised me. Sorry, Bruce. I got, like, stuff happening back here, man, I can't deal with. My God. My chair's like being attacked.
Only on Rick's show.
My God.
Gator
God, it's
under-
like,
Gator under there or something?
I had, yeah. It's like cord all wrapped around a wheel. I don't know how. All right. This week in 1977, here's what Mike Blastos said. In the news stories about the recent tragic mass murder in Connecticut, in which 9 members of a single family were killed, authorities described the slayings as the largest mass murder in Connecticut history. This simply isn't true. I guess the authorities are not familiar with Connecticut's history, or are they trying to cover up? In 1637, the invading English Puritans decided they had had enough trouble with the native Pequot Indians and moved in with firearms and dogs, destroying men, women, and children, as well as cornfields, wigwams, and canoes. It was really genocide. Over 700 Indians were killed in one day. The only reason Connecticut isn't having any Indian land claim problems today is that there are no Pequot Indians left. Come on, Connecticut authorities, let's not distort history. And you know, that's a pretty intense column for Mr. Blastos. And it was, and it wasn't just in Connecticut. Although it seems that I've seen the last couple of days there's something going on down in Cheshire, Connecticut, right? Another big home invasion with 3 people that were killed. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. People continue to act like this, and I don't know, maybe the entire world should just say, you know, it's not worth it. We need to put an end to humanity. Plain and simple.
It's coming.
If everybody, you know, more and more people are acting like this, look, throw in the towel. It was a great experiment, but it didn't work. You know, the whole free will, free mind thing just didn't work. All right. CD review. I picked a cowboy this week. This week's CD, Chris Ledoux. And Chris Ledoux,
And what do you do with Chris?
just
Ledoux?
like
bless.
Garth Brooks said, God bless Chris Ledoux. This is the 20 greatest hits, and it's got a lot of cowboy tunes. He does a cover of, what's the one? Life is a Highway, written by Tom Coltrane. He does a song with a duet with Garth Brooks on this. He also does a cover of a song called Bang a Drum by Bon Jovi.
So he's got no original music. He's
Oh yeah,
just,
no,
just a
he's
cover,
written
ripping off other people's music.
he's written cowboy songs. He's got 30 albums, and a lot of them are the old. Because before he got into music, he was a rodeo cowboy. He was a bronc rider. He writes a lot of like ballads about what it was like to be in the rodeo. One song that's not on here, it's on one of his other ones. He compares, in the song, he puts a hippie and a cowboy stranded on the side of a road together. And the cowboy tells the hippie, well, you kind of smell bad. And the hippie looks at the cowboy and says, you know, you're no bed of roses yourself, brother. You know, and through the differences, it all comes around to how they're the same. So he does a song here called Little Long-Haired Outlaw. which is kind of a rockin' tune, but it says how the song tells about how he's a cowboy, but he's got a little long-haired outlaw inside him, and so does everybody else, that you got to have some rock and roll in your life. Another one he does is called This Cowboy's Hat, where he talks about sitting in a bar or sitting in a coffee shop and some bikers making fun of one of his friend's cowboy hats. And the biker, or the cowboy, telling the bikers exactly what his hat meant to him, and diffusing a big fight like that. It's a good crossover, country rock. He's fantastic, and I don't believe he's with us anymore. I believe he died not too long ago, or if he hasn't, he's been battling cancer. Last I heard, he was battling cancer, and I thought that I heard that he had passed, but I'm not sure. But he's been around forever. A lot of great country-sounding stuff. A lot of like rodeo songs, what it's like to be a bareback rider, you know, and just excellent music. And yeah, Chris Ledoux, 20 greatest hits, or any Chris Ledoux you can find. Where am I? Thanks, Mike. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Over there in the corner.
Nothing.
You sound like you're gonna die. All right, out and about. I forgot to put this on the card, Bruce. Sorry, but you know we do out and about. And I'll start with birthdays. This week's birthday is July 23rd. Don Imus turned 67,
Isn't that the guy that got fired?
and he's coming back because people like controversy, man. Woody Harrelson, 46.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I thought he was older.
So did I.
Slash from Guns N' Roses, 42. So he's just a pup, too. Yeah.
That makes me a pup.
And Daniel Radcliffe of Harry Potter fame turned 18 this week. So he can legally vote now. I wonder who he's going to vote for. Oh, so he'd probably vote for the Queen then. On July 24th, Gallagher. Remember the comedian Gallagher? Used to smash the watermelons and everything with the hammer?
I always hated it.
He's 61. 61 years old. And Linda Carter? Wonder Woman? Yeah, many evenings with Wonder Woman in my youth. 56 years old. July 25th, Estelle Getty. Everybody know who she is? She played in The Golden Girls. She played Sophia, the old lady. She's 84 this week. And Matt LeBlanc, who plays Joey on Friends, is 40. And the only other birthday I've got for this week is July 28th. And it's
And whose is that?
my birthday.
And how old are you going to be?
I'm going to be 46. I think.
Don't forget Donna.
Email? Oh, yeah, if you... Donna's... I didn't write it down. Is that this week? No, it's not. No. She was just asking me how old I was. That's all it was.
Ancient.
Oh, yeah, gray. That's how old I am.
It's Campus Friday.
All right, what am I going to? I threw the card. Saturday at the hot spot is the Space Monkeys, Rockingham. Saturday, I'm going to be doing some Jello shots at Jane and Mike's up on the pond.
We spent a lot of time up there, thank you.
Yes, it's very fun. All right, and I think that was all. Because I didn't have a lot of time to look for stuff to do this week. It's been a busy week. I already talked about the 101 roundabout, didn't I?
Yeah.
And it's working. I love it. Shore Beat's waiting there with the cops. And even West Street, now that they've got that all repaved, is kind of nice, I guess. It's all right.
Except they screwed me up. They screwed me up one day because they took out a lane when you come now when you come down off the, if you come off the Route
Highway.
12 onto West Street,
Yeah.
if you stay in the left lane, you have to turn left again. You can't go straight through. So now I have
Oh,
to, when
yeah,
I come
yeah.
off it, I have to come out a lane.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can get used to that. That'll be easy.
You're talking about Jane.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Last night, this is big news, because last night, Cheshire TV had its monthly board meeting. It was attended, I have to say, by, I believe, 7 of the 8 board members, which was good. It was nice to see them all here. It was also attended by, 15
Yeah, 15, 20.
members of the public and the membership of Cheshire TV, which is kind of scary when more members show up at a board meeting than board members. But here's the deal. Here's what we've been waiting to hear about. I've been given phone numbers left and right. And yes, Cheshire TV is in financial straits. We barely got enough money to get through the end of the year. So the plan has been to show our support for Cheshire TV and call the cable company and call the city council and the mayor and tell them of what we think about Cheshire TV. And I think that a lot of people have done that. The Cheshire TV board has a standing meeting right now with the city manager, John McLean, on Tuesday, I believe it's afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday afternoon. Here's the deal that's going to be proposed. They're going to try and get the city to get together with Time Warner, because this is what has to happen. The city has to get together with Time Warner, and they have to both agree to accelerate this contract and up the percentage of public access fee, because the contract is between Time Warner and the city. So the way that they want it to go is they want to raise the access fee to 3%. It will be less than $1. I'm not sure, 50, 60 cents, whatever, 3%. It's not much. You would pay 3% for a public access fee, and of that 3%, Time Warner would take 1% to recoup the money that they have already given us. At the same time, Cheshire TV gets the 2%, which is plenty. After Time Warner has recouped what it basically fronted us in the beginning, then Lee's proposed to use that 1% to equip City Hall with the robotic system that it needs for filming all the city council meetings. And then after that equipment is paid for using the 1%, then Cheshire TV would get the 3% complete. Which, with the number of cable subscribers, is a lot of money. And, I think it sounded like a fair deal. They've got, of course, the board basically said, all right, well, here's what we got to do. They want to present Mr. McLean with a fantastic proposal, and they want all their ducks in a row. They want, like, financial statements and all the yearly stuff, and the numbers. Unfortunately, we don't have any type of petition, and there's no time to get a petition done. What you can do as viewers is to email Cheshire TV at cheshiretv.org, and I believe that Lee's got an online petition, or just email Lee at cheshiretv.org with a small letter of your support. Um, I'm going to do this. I don't know if I should, but I'm going to because it's my show. Another thing you can do, call the city manager. Between now and Tuesday, I want him to do nothing Monday morning but listen to voicemails that he's got all weekend long from people saying that they want to keep Cheshire TV and they don't mind paying the little extra in their public access fee. His phone number, his name is John McLean. His phone number is 357-9804. 357-9804. The city manager's office. Let's flood. He's going to hate, of course he's going to hate me. Flood his answering machine with messages telling him you support Cheshire TV and you don't mind paying the little extra. And to jump on board with Lee and the board of directors down here and let's keep this station going strong and expand it. I kept reading little opinion letters in the Sentinel about people that are disappointed that WKBK is not carrying the Swamp Bats game. Well, a few more volunteers, a little bit more equipment, Cheshire TV could, if all it takes is some volunteers to get together and come down, as a group and say, Lee, we want to start filming Swamp Bats games. Lee would say, all right, you take the little Saturday course, you become a member, you pay your dues, you check out the equipment, you go out and you film the Swamp Bats games. The entire city would love you. I mean, and anything like that. I'm going to blow off a lot of stuff tonight because I got onto this. But this is important, I think.
Very.
Here's a copy of a letter that Nick handed me. I'll probably get Nick in trouble too. This is a letter that was sent to Tom Casey at Time Warner. He's right down on Eagle Court. If anybody wants to stop down on Eagle Court into Time Warner, just walk in and tell him you want to talk to Tom Casey and that you want to keep, you want to keep Cheshire TV. Bug everybody. Then keep calling the mayor. He loves to hear from you. I'm sure he does. Go down to the pub and see the mayor. This is a letter that was written to Tom Casey at Time Warner on Eagle Court. And it's from Susan McNeil, the executive director of the AIDS services for the Monadnock region, and who Cheshire TV and AIDS services have done a lot of great projects together. She says Keen Karaoke, I'm just going to highlight this. She says Keen Karaoke Idol and Keen Comic were the first two community events broadcast on Cheshire TV. And that was how I got started. She goes on to say that since collaborating with Cheshire TV, the visibility of her agency has increased 100%. And that people have come to her for HIV testing and consultations solely because they saw programming on Cheshire TV and learned about the service. And she goes on to talk about the volunteers and some of, like the contestants from last year's Karaoke Idol. Some of them got offered, I guess, some fairly lucrative deals because of their exposure. She says this is how a community is supposed to work. She says, I wholeheartedly support an immediate increase of the franchise fee from 0.75% to 3%. And in talking about Cheshire TV, she says they do much more than simply broadcast television. They bring us all together in a way that was not previously available. Is this worth 20, 30, 60 cents a month? If it brings one person through my door to be tested for HIV, the answer is a resounding yes. She's such an articulate lady.
Yes, me
You know? She's so awesome, And I think a lot of people feel this way. But I don't know if it's laziness or if it's, or what it is, that people just won't pick up the phone or they won't go over and sit at their keyboard and type in, you know, Lee Perkins, CheshireTV.org, you know, great job.
Yeah.
We support you. You know, I don't know why people don't do that. All right, I got 10 minutes. Not even time to get into anything. I can get into this a little bit, I guess.
8 minutes.
But anyway, 357-9804. That's the city manager's number, 357-9804. Call him. Tell him you want him to push this thing through. Let's start paying the 3%.
They're coming at me rapidly here.
People love the card throwing thing, though.
Especially when you throw them at your ex-wife.
First, I'll get into this because this is real quick. Cheshire Fair is starting next Monday. Woohoo! You know, it's not like it used to be.
Still a fun time.
And I pulled this because in 1977, I just wanted to tell you who was playing here in 1977 for acts at the Cheshire Fair. There was somebody, it says a First Lady of Country, La Costa. I don't remember her. But Mickey Gilley.
Ooh.
He was big back in 77.
he sure was.
I mean, he was a top country
Performer.
act in 1977. The Cheshire Fair had him. And Tom T. Hall, who back then was another fairly big country act. Of course, we still have Tom T. Hall, I think. He's like 1,000 years old. But no, I mean, the fair's not like it used to be when we had, you know, we used to have big acts that would come every year to the Cheshire Fair, and it was worth going down there. Now you go down there and it's, you know, probably the biggest thing that people go to the Cheshire Fair for is probably the Sunday for the Demolition Derby.
Well, why don't you offer your services, Rick? You could be an act.
Yeah, I could be an act.
You can film a show there.
I'll sing another
The
Arlo Guthrie
infamous-
song.
The infamous Rick Blood is in the house.
I'll sing another Arlo Guthrie song. Right? Yeah. All right. Probably got just enough time for this. This week, India elected its first female president. How sad is this that we're falling behind India? These are people that worship cows. We eat them. They worship them. They get a female president. Although, it's pretty much of a figurehead position. You know? It's like pretty ceremonial. But it was a lady named Pratibha Patil. And she was a lawyer and a relative unknown in their government circles. And women are still underrepresented in politics over there in India. It says fewer than 10% of members of lower parliament are women. And there's widespread discrimination in workplace and in the home. India's had a woman prime minister for years, Indira Gandhi. And she's been one of the most powerful leaders that the country's ever had. The last woman to serve the function of president of as large a country as India is was Queen Victoria during the British rule of India. But no, it's a great step. I mean, if we're going to talk equality and everything else, then that's what we should talk about. You're just being way too. Here's a great one. They've named the new host of The Price is Right. Drew Carey will be the new host.
Cool.
And I think he'll be a good host. I really do.
Come on down.
I didn't read the article, but he's 49 years old, and he was the host of the show in Whose Line Is It Anyway? And he was pretty funny. I think he'll do all right.
I think he actually went to them and requested, I don't think it was the other way around. I think they came to him and asked him. I think he wanted that. And I think he went for it.
Oh, maybe. Maybe. But that was cool. Other sad news. I don't know. This is just stupid. And I haven't really been following the Tour de France because I don't have digital cable. I've just got the regular basic stuff. But apparently, on Wednesday, dozens of tour riders, mostly French tour riders, protested and didn't start the race at the start time, and they were protesting the latest doping charge. Blood doping is another big controversy. This year again, star rider Alexandre Vinokurov and his Astana team were sent home after he tested positive for a banned blood transfusion. Some of the French teams involved included Credit Agricole Cofidis, FD Joux, Boyu Telecom, and Agritubel. And they all protested. But I don't know, it was a big thing. I believe Tyler Hamilton from the United States, the Postal Service, got charged with blood doping last year, or the year before. 1 year he got charged with blood doping. And apparently it has something to do with blood transfusions or something. And, you know, it's just another stupid thing to throw in to mess up sports, you know, because in order to be so competitive, you'd go and do anything and anything. 2 minutes. 1 minute yet? Is that what you're saying, 1 minute?
No, he's going to the bathroom.
Oh, all right. A minute and a half? I'll talk about this. Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Apparently, Franklin County, Pennsylvania, may be centuries behind in its rent on 2 of its public buildings. They've accumulated a debt of 200 roses because Benjamin Chambers, the founder of the community, first established the local rose rent tradition by requiring 3 churches that settled in Chambersburg to give his family 1 flower a year in return for the land. So the rent is in flowers. So, all right, 1 minute. I want to thank my crew, Greg and Jane and Mike, Andrea and Bruce.
Our pleasure.
Thank Nick for keeping the place open. I want to thank Kevin for taking all our lights.
Thanks, Kevin.
If you want to email me if you've got birthdays, if you've got an event you want announced. Email me at Head
Wish
for
you
Laughs.
a happy birthday.
Well,
Happy
thank
birthday,
you.
Rick.
Check out the website, unfilteredlive.com. Thanks, Mom's Tattoo and Gemini Screen Print. Till next week, peace.